There's an ancient saying, when we're young, we do everything to make others happy. When we grow older, we realize that wise men often do the opposite. Welcome to today's video, where we'll explore 9 things that smart men should never do in their relationships with women. You know, Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's greatest emperors, once said that men's greatest mistakes aren't the things they do wrong, but the things they shouldn't do, yet still try to do. And often, the smarter someone is, the more likely they are to make these mistakes. In this short video, I'll share insights from Stoic philosophy, valuable lessons that I and many other men had to learn the hard way. And I'm certain that among those watching this video, you'll find yourself in the situations we're about to discuss. Before we dive into the main content, leave a comment if you've ever made one of these mistakes. I believe your story could help other men avoid falling into the same traps. Number 1. Keep your past private. The first principle we need to discuss is about protecting your past. You know, Nietzsche once said, "Old thoughts come back to haunt us like ghosts of past decisions." And nowhere is this more true than in relationships. Let me tell you something important. Smart men often make this mistake because they think being open about their past shows emotional maturity. They share their darkest moments, their failures, their vulnerabilities, thinking it will create a deeper connection. But here's what they don't realize. Once you share something, you can't take it back. I've seen countless men share their deepest insecurities, past relationship traumas or personal struggles, only to have these very things used against them later. As the Stoics taught us, not everything needs to be spoken, and not every truth needs to be shared. Think of your past like a valuable treasure. You don't show it to everyone who expresses interest. You share it only with those who have proven themselves worthy of your trust over time. Because the harsh truth is, what you share in a moment of intimacy can become ammunition during a moment of anger. So what's the solution? Be selective with your past. Share gradually, share wisely, and most importantly, share only what serves a purpose in your present relationship. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. In this case, the best protection is not to give away your power through premature disclosure. Remember, mystery isn't just attractive, it's protective. Keep your past private, not because you're hiding, but because you're protecting what's precious. Your story is yours to tell, but only to those who have earned the right to hear it. Number 2, face your fear of being alone. Let's talk about something most men won't admit, the fear of being alone. Aristotle said, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." But here's the uncomfortable truth. Many men stay in toxic relationships simply because they're afraid of solitude. Think about it. How many times have you seen a friend, or maybe even yourself, stick with the wrong person just because the thought of being alone seemed worse? It's like staying in a burning house because you're afraid of the cold outside. As the Stoics taught us, sometimes our fear of emptiness is more damaging than the emptiness itself. I remember working with successful businessmen, CEOs, leaders, men who could command boardrooms but couldn't handle a Friday night alone. They'd rather endure drama, disrespect, even emotional abuse, than face their fear of solitude. But here's what they don't realize. When you fear being alone, you give away your power to anyone willing to keep you company. The Stoic philosophers understood something profound about this. They knew that a man who can't be alone will never truly know if he's with someone for love or for fear. You can't make clear decisions about relationships when you're running from loneliness. So what's the solution? Start with small steps. Learn to enjoy your own company. Find peace in solitude. Because here's the paradox. Once you become comfortable being alone, you'll naturally attract people who add to your life rather than those who just fill a void. Remember, being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means being strong enough to wait for what you deserve rather than accepting what you're afraid to lose. Number 3, Manage your time wisely. Let's talk about something that might hit close to home. Wasting your most precious resource, time. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said something powerful. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. And nowhere is this more true than in relationships. Think about how many hours you've spent overthinking text messages, waiting for calls that never came, or trying to figure out what she really meant. Think about the weekends you've wasted trying to please someone who wasn't even sure about you. As Marcus Aurelius said, time is like a river. Once it passes, it's gone forever. I've seen too many men spend their prime years chasing people who see them as a backup plan. They put their goals on hold, cancel plans with friends, skip gym sessions, all for someone who wouldn't do the same for them. The harsh truth? While you're making someone else a priority, they might be making you an option. The Stoics understood something crucial about time. It's the only resource you can never get back. You can always make more money, build new relationships, or create new opportunities. But time, once it's gone forever. So what's the solution? Start treating your time like the valuable asset it is. Before you invest hours, days, or months in someone, ask yourself, are they investing the same in you? Are you spending time building a connection or just filling an emotional void? Remember, a wise man doesn't just manage his money well, he manages his time even better. Because in the end, we're not just giving away hours when we waste time on the wrong person. We're giving away pieces of our life. Number 4, be proud of your achievements. Here's a paradox many smart men face. The more they achieve, the more they hesitate to own their success in relationships. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." But let's be real. There's a difference between humility and hiding your light. I've seen successful men downplay their achievements, hide their ambitions, even pretend to be less accomplished, all because they're afraid of appearing arrogant or intimidating. They'll build companies, win awards, reach milestones, but in relationships, they'll act like none of it matters. Why? Because somewhere along the way they learned that being too successful might scare people away. Listen carefully. If your achievements make someone uncomfortable, that's not your problem to fix. As Marcus Aurelius taught us, the best way to avenge yourself is to not be like that. Don't dim your light just because it might blind those who are used to darkness. Here's the thing. Being proud of your achievements doesn't mean bragging. It means acknowledging the work you've put in, the obstacles you've overcome, and the goals you're still chasing. A strong woman doesn't want a man who hides his success. She wants someone who can inspire her to reach for her own dreams. So what's the solution? Own your journey. Share your victories. Not to impress, but to inspire. Because the right person won't feel threatened by your success. They'll be excited to be part of your next chapter. Remember, your achievements are part of who you are. They're not just lines on a resume, they're chapters in your story. And anyone who wants to be part of your life should be ready to read the whole book, not just the easy parts. Number 5, protect your mental health. Let's talk about something men rarely discuss: protecting your mental peace in relationships. The Stoics understood a fundamental truth. Your mind is your fortress. Yet too many men let their mental health crumble for the sake of keeping someone else happy. You know what's interesting? We'll go to the gym to protect our physical health, work hard to protect our financial health, but when it comes to mental health, we'll let someone else's drama tear it apart. As Marcus Aurelius warned, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. I've seen brilliant men turn into anxious wrecks, checking their phones every 5 minutes, overthinking every conversation, losing sleep over someone else's mood swings. They'll tell themselves it's normal, that it's just what relationships are like. But here's the truth. If your relationship is constantly disrupting your peace of mind, it's not love, it's emotional warfare. The Stoics taught us something profound. Your mental peace isn't negotiable. It's not something you sacrifice for a relationship. Because if you lose your inner peace, what exactly are you bringing to the relationship anyway? A stressed, anxious, depleted version of yourself. So what's the solution? Set boundaries. Learn to say no. Walk away from drama. And most importantly, understand that someone who truly cares about you will never make you choose between their happiness and your mental health. Remember, maintaining your mental health isn't selfish, it's necessary. Because at the end of the day, you can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't build a healthy relationship from an unhealthy mind. Number 6. Be true to yourself. Let's tackle something crucial. The art of staying true to yourself in relationships. You know, Albert Chu said something powerful about this. The moment you start changing who you are to please someone else is the moment you start losing yourself. Think about how many times you've said yes when you wanted to say no. How many times have you pretended to like something you hated, agreed with opinions you didn't believe in, or acted differently just to keep someone happy? As the Stoics taught us, when we try to be someone we're not, we suffer twice, once from the effort and once from the failure. I've seen strong, principled men completely abandon their values, change their goals, even distance themselves from friends and family, all to fit someone else's ideal. They become excellent actors, playing a role they think their partner wants to see. But here's the brutal truth. The moment you start performing instead of being authentic, you've already lost. The real irony? When you try to be what someone else wants, you become less attractive, not more. Because authenticity has a power that no performance can match. As Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid for staying true to what you believe. So what's the solution? Start saying no. Start expressing your real opinions. Start standing firm in your values. Yes, some people might not like it. Some might even walk away. But isn't it better to be alone for being who you are than to be accepted for being someone you're not? Remember, the right person won't need you to change who you are. They'll challenge you to become a better version of yourself, not a different person altogether. Number 7. Don't sacrifice your goals for others. Let's talk about something that ruins too many good men: sacrificing their dreams and ambitions for a relationship. Seneca put it perfectly when he said, "No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to waste their time chasing what they can't have." I've watched men put their careers on hold, abandon business opportunities, give up on their passions, all to fit into someone else's life plan. They tell themselves it's compromise, that it's what love requires. But here's the cold truth. When you give up your path for someone else's, you're not just sacrificing goals, you're sacrificing your essence. You know what's devastating? When these men wake up years later, filled with resentment, wondering where their dreams went, they look in the mirror and barely recognize themselves. As Marcus Aurelius warned, look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look. The real problem isn't just about giving up opportunities. It's about losing respect, both self-respect and the respect of your partner. Because let's be honest, no one truly admires someone who abandons their purpose for love. They might appreciate the sacrifice initially, but eventually they'll wonder what happened to the ambitious man they were first attracted to. So what's the solution? Keep your dreams alive. Pursue your goals with passion. Include your partner in your journey if they want to join, but don't derail your path for theirs. A real partnership enhances both people's journeys. It doesn't require one person to abandon theirs. Remember, the right person will encourage your ambitions, not compete with them. They'll be proud of your goals, not threatened by them. Because true love adds to your life. It doesn't subtract from your dreams. Number 8. Prioritize family and friends. Let's discuss a critical mistake I see smart men make: sacrificing their core relationships for a romantic partner. Plato was onto something when he said, "The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile." And nothing shows this more than when men abandon their support system for a relationship. I've seen it countless times. Men slowly disconnecting from their friends, missing family events, canceling long-standing traditions, all to please their partner. They think they're investing in their relationship, but what they're really doing is burning bridges they might desperately need later. As the Stoics taught us, no man is an island, but every man needs his tribe. Here's what's tragic. By the time these men realize their mistake, they often find themselves isolated. Their friends have moved on, family relationships have grown distant, and if the romantic relationship fails, they're left truly alone. The very support system they needed was the one they abandoned. You want to know something interesting? The strongest relationships I've seen are those where both partners maintain healthy connections outside the relationship. Because when you depend on one person for all your emotional needs, you're not just setting yourself up for disappointment, you're putting an impossible burden on them. So, what's the solution? Maintain your friendships. Keep your family close. Make time for the people who were there before this relationship and who'll be there after if it ends. A partner who tries to isolate you from your support system isn't protecting your relationship. They're controlling your life. Remember, your close relationships are like a safety net. You might not think you need them when things are going well, but they're invaluable when things get tough. Don't wait until you're falling to realize you've cut away your own safety net. Number 9. Avoid excessive dependency. Let's conclude with perhaps the most crucial principle: avoiding the trap of excessive dependency. Marcus Aurelius said something profound about this. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Let me paint you a picture I see too often. Intelligent, capable men becoming completely dependent on a woman's approval, attention, or presence. They check their phones compulsively, plan their entire schedule around her availability, and feel anxious when they don't get an immediate response. Their mood swings with her texts. Their happiness depends on her smile. As the Stoics would say, when you make someone else responsible for your peace, you become a slave to their behavior. Here's what's fascinating. The more dependent you become, the less attractive you appear. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your fear of losing them actually creates the very circumstances that push them away. Because let's be honest, no one wants to be someone's entire world. It's too much pressure, too much responsibility. The hard truth? When you make someone your everything, you become their nothing. You stop being the confident, self-assured man they were attracted to and become a shadow of yourself, constantly seeking validation and reassurance. So what's the solution? Build a life so full and meaningful that a relationship enhances it rather than completes it. Have your own interests, maintain your own space, and remember that true strength comes from within, not from external validation. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius taught us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Not on someone else's presence, not on their approval, but on your own inner stability and strength. As we wrap up our discussion about these 9 crucial principles from Stoic philosophy, let's remember something important. These aren't just rules about relationships. They're guidelines for maintaining your dignity, strength, and authenticity as a man. From protecting your past to managing your independence, each principle we've discussed stems from ancient wisdom that's still remarkably relevant today. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. These principles aren't about manipulating or controlling relationships. They're about building a strong foundation within yourself so that any relationship you enter enhances your life rather than defines it. The Stoics understood something profound, that true strength in relationships comes not from what we do, but from what we refuse to do. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button and share it with other men who might need to hear this message. Leave a comment below sharing which principle hit closest to home for you. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now. Remember, following these principles doesn't make you cold or unfeeling. It makes you wise. Because in the end, the best relationships aren't built on sacrifice or dependency, but on mutual respect and individual strength. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and most importantly, stay true to yourself.